Okay, it says 5 o'clock on mine. I would like to call to order the Board of Education meeting for Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. Are there any speakers related to closed session items? The board will now convene to closed session. session report out from closed session. Open session of the Board of Education meeting is live on YouTube. Visit NHUSD Board of Education website for the link. If you're attending online via Zoom, use the raise hand feature to indicate you wish to provide public comment. Phone participants should press 9 to be added to the queue and wait to be called on. Members of the community may submit public comments to the board via email at publiccomment@nhusd.k12.ca.us before each meeting. The board received 0 public comments via email for tonight's meeting. The board will not respond to questions posed by making public comments. Relative to closed session items 3.1 through 3.3, the board took no action. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Vice President Kumar.
Thank you, President Gonzalez. Will the audience please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Here. Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
May I have a motion and second to approve tonight's agenda? I move.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. May I have a volunteer to read out the land acknowledgement tonight? Trustee Rafay.
We want to open up this meeting by acknowledging with respect and love that the land we are on today is a traditional ancestral homeland of the Ohlone Chochenyo First People. We recognize and thank the Ohlone people as the original stewards of this land. Indigenous people must not be spoken about in past context as if they left on their own accord, when their real causes were the white supremacy, manifest destiny, and the U.S. colonization. By recognizing we stand on the occupied indigenous territory of Ohlone people, we recommit ourselves to listen to Native leadership and stand in solidarity with people struggling against systems of oppression throughout the world, past and present.
Thank you, Trustee Rafay. Back to you, President Gonzalez.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead and get into public comment. Are there any blue cards for topics that are not on the agenda? And no blue cards for items on the agenda too. And in the Zoom world also? Okay, we'll move on. Okay, we'll go to Union President's Report here. CSEA President Report, do not see anybody, so we'll go on to NHTA. President Angeles, go ahead, you may address.
These student trustees, Dr. Thompson, district staff, members at home. I just wanted to actually just take this time. Obviously, we know today is Nishihara's last meeting, as well as Ms. Vanessa's last meeting. I did want to recognize the relationship that we established through the most difficult time. And as he knows from our conversation going forward since last spring, I came to a real nice conclusion in terms of the collaboration effort, which has really been a successful one since that time of the strike. So I did want to say that out loud and say congratulations to you on your change. I think the collaboration that we both learned and those these things will serve you well going forward. I think the thing has started really well in terms of what we're doing now. As a matter of fact, I just mentioned to Dr. Thompson, we had a great PD advisory meeting with Ms. Wee over there, setting another collaborative conversation about how both teachers and the district can be involved in things that is best for teachers as well as students. So I just hope that that kind of a method of thinking and moving and change goes forward, serves you well. Ms. Vanessa, I thank you for your service. I know you came in a really difficult time. and you came through it, and I wish you well on your new endeavors going forward. So with that in mind, thank you.
All right, we're going to go into our presentations, and we have 9.1. This is a presentation of the 2024-25 first interim budget update. Ms. Hillman.
Thank you. Good evening, Superintendent Thompson and trustees. So, don't have enough space here. So tonight we present to you the first update to our 24-25 finances, as well as any updates on the projections for the 2 out years based on the latest information from the state and anything internally that we had to make adjustments on. The full report looks like this. It's linked or attached to the agenda. Everything in this probably 300-page book are required by the state. These are mandates. There is a section that is not required, but locally we do that, which is the management summary, to help unpack or to help simplify our finances as a whole. So before we move forward, I usually want to share the authority by which we are doing what we are doing, which is the financial updates. In this case, this is the first interim, which is activities from July 1st through the end of October. And we are progressing through the budget cycle. As you can see there, the darker pie signifies where we are in the budget cycle, and we're going to be continuing to move through that until we close the books in July, August, and September. So the LAO, they play a key role at this time of year because every November, they put out what they call a fiscal outlook report. While it's not what we use for developing our budget, we actually do wait for what Department of Finance tells us in January. It does, in many ways, kind of gives us a clue on what that might look like, because they do use similar data points when they're doing certain calculations. This time last year, I was sharing with you a maneuver that was contemplated by the governor, as reported by the LAO's outlook or fiscal report around this time last year. That didn't happen because there were enough objections to that maneuver that he was trying to put together. When you read the LAO fiscal outlook, there's a lot of things they get into. They start with the macroeconomics, everything else. And for this year, there's a lot happening out there, but this is the one noteworthy data that I know we will see again. So as you can see there, LAO said, hey, we're projecting COLA to be 2.46% for next year. You will not see that in our finances, okay? You will still see the 2.93%, which is what was in the state enacted budget. We will, of course, update all of these data and numbers by the time we receive the January proposals from the governor. So diving down in terms of our own local numbers, these are the state factors that we use in terms of putting together some revenue projections. As I mentioned, for 25-26, looking ahead, now that the LAO had released their report, I'm still using the 2.93%. We know for sure it's not going to be exactly 2.46%. So we will adjust these as we hear more in January from the governor. For the current year, the interim that we are reporting, nothing has changed in terms of that COLA. It's still 1.07%. Okay. And the other line items there are the other factors that we use in terms of the half a dozen remaining state funding sources that we still have to build into our budget. Still on local district factors, here is our, we provide what we adopted, where we are now, and then the 2 out years if there are any changes in terms of projections. One of the things that you will see there is the enrollment. It's actually a positive change. And unduplicated pupil count, it's also trending to go, that's a positive trajectory as well. So just so you know, constantly throughout the year, we do look at those data points, regularly to make sure that we are following along, and we are using reasonable, defensible numbers for projections. And I'm concentrating on this year because, a lot could happen by the time we start developing the 25-26. So that's the set of numbers that we worked on in terms of this update. One data point that we also track is what is the change in our ending fund balance. The 11.7 million is a positive change, meaning when we adopted the budget, we projected our ending balance to be such. And now that we've made adjustments to first interim, it's going to be this number, and it's higher by 11.7. Now, a big chunk of that, you can see it's in the 9.8 million prior year balance adjustments. As we often do, especially when there are one-time dollars, we use the most restricted dollars first because that really benefits our students when we have that flexibility to use it. In other words, like we're extending the ramp on certain money, especially when they are one-time only. So that provided relief to our general fund. And that's the big difference in terms of what makes up the 11.7 million. We did reference this heavily when we closed the books and presented it to you in the unaudited actuals, because that's when we made those journal entries, if I may be so technical, and made those adjustments. This is just an overview of, we've been in this funding mechanism for a long time now. It was fully funded in 1819, and I still like to show that to see that, hey, this is where we started when the state finally paid what they owed us, which is in 1819. They owed us over $30 million. So think about it. Prior to 1819, that 103 million was actually 30 million less, because that's what all those years of deficit factors added to, and we got all of it through the LCFF mechanism. We still continue to track this until we hear anything different. We're going to continue to be tracking what LCFF looks like in the current year and beyond. Oh, I want to go back to that. LCFF, as you know, is divided into two base, no pun intended, two components, the base and the supplemental / concentration. And those are, they serve different purposes in our, in terms of our needs. So when simplified, this is what the calculation looks like. I think I always present this because I want to show you the different tenets of LCFF. You have your base, your grade span allowance, your supplemental grant, your concentration grant. Overall, it's 124.9 million in revenue under the LCFF, under the formula. And I always want to add in terms of what was it like compared to last year or prior year, and what was it like compared to the last reporting period, which is the adopted budget. So we've gained just within the same year, 500, a little over $500,000. And I keep printing. That is mostly driven, as I explained in our management summary, mostly driven by the unduplicated pupil count being higher. So we've done a lot of good work on that between our student services, enrollment center, and food services in terms of really identifying and streamlining that process. So as you can see, that translates into dollars for us. So that's what that increase is for. So after honing in on the current year update, we always look at the +2, right? The 2 out years. So here is a summary of what our 3-year projection looks like. This is for the combined general fund, where we have, based on these numbers and the latest information, we have a combined 25% ending balance. When we tease out unrestricted, it's about 26% ending balance. Now, remember that we are settled only through 25-26. So that 25-26% ending balance will be spent by the time we go for the next round of negotiation. That's why you're seeing it here as, hey, we have it. We appear to have a healthy ending balance in 26-27, but that's because we have not settled for that year, and a lot can change between now and then. So this is the path that we follow, leading to the progression of this budget cycle. Tonight, December 10, is the first interim budget update. We're waiting for the certification of our enrollment. That will change again. That will provide another adjustment to our, when we get the final certified numbers from CalPADS. And we're going to be hearing what the governor will be proposing for education in January, usually mid-January. And we will then go back to you to present the second interim update sometime in March. So we're going through that cycle for 24-25. Are there any questions?
Are there any questions or comments from the board?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, moving on to information items. This is our items from the board and superintendent, so we'll go from the right and work our way down this way. So, student trustee Buenaflor, go ahead.
All right, so happy basketball, wrestling, soccer, and winter sports season. Logan Leadership is currently planning a winter ball on Saturday, January 11th. And Logan students are just like so ready for winter break. Like that's coming up in like 2 weeks. And the annual education conference is like super engaging and like full of like a ton of information that I like want to like possibly like bring to our school and district. And one idea I really loved was an Instagram for student trustees to like really engage and connect with other students. So if you have Instagram, go follow it at NHUSD Student Rep. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, trustee Hernandez.
Hi, thank you. My apologies for my tardiness. I only wanted to congratulate band for winning state championship. I believe it was a couple, maybe 3 weeks ago. This is the first time that they've won in a handful of years, and this is up against 19 other schools throughout California, being, I believe, one of the largest larger uniformed bands. So congratulations for Logan. Thank you.
I'll
Trustee
keep my
Michelle.
comments short. I wanted to thank President Angelos for his kind words. I agree. I think that we've made a lot of really great progress together in the spirit of collaboration. I also do want to give a little bit of an explanation. So maybe halfway through the meeting, after a couple action items, I may be excusing myself because I have to get up to another appointment across the street. So if you see me get up and walk away, that's no commentary on what's going on, but that's where I'm going. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Rafe?
Right, so I'd like to, I had the opportunity to attend the 2024 CSB and Annual Education Conference, which with the trustee and the superintendents here. And it allowed us the professional development in policy and legal education, collaboration, networking. And I'm grateful for this opportunity to have met many fascinating presenters leading the charge to a better future for our schools. And I'm excited to share those with Mr. Thompson and our board. And yesterday I had visited Hillview Crest Elementary with Dr. Thompson and got to see Miss Caitlin's fifth graders during their Character Strong class. And I was very impressed to see how students were totally engaged in social emotion learning. Thank you.
Vice President Kumar?
Thank you, President Gonzalez. I also attended the annual education conference last week. My CSBA learned a lot. I attended a lot of sessions around policies around AI and what different school districts are doing to implement it. I also networked with other trustees and superintendents and borrowed some really good ideas, which I shared with Dr. Thompson, and we'll see which ones of those we can use here. And on a personal note, 2 of my kids are performing at the IVC band tonight, and I can't be there. So I just wanted to give them a shout out. Rehan, Ronald, thank you for understanding.
Okay, I too attended the conference. I think like the greatest thing I get from it is the networking, the talking to people, just hearing what's going on in their districts. And I'm just very proud of the work we're doing here in New Haven, some of my colleagues, and most of my colleagues that I know are in Southern California because I was there for almost 20 years. And so getting to talk to them and see them, once a year, if that, and to share the things we're doing here in New Haven. And so they were equally impressed, and got to meet the new trustees, break bread with them, hung out with Dr. Thompson's for his birthday. We're hanging out, and just an opportunity for us to hang out together. So that really concludes my report. We'll go ahead and turn it over to our superintendent.
Right, yeah, the CSCA BA, I think I agree that networking and the camaraderie is the best part. And that was fun last week, even though you did sing my happy birthday to me, which you know how I feel about that, but that was good. That was good. Okay, just a couple things. Want to thank Trustee Hernandez and Trustee Nishihara for your service to our students. It's been great working with you both, and congratulations on soon to be Councilman Nishihara. So there's that. And with holiday seasons coming up, our board meeting next week really is just focused on, if anybody's wondering, the swearing in of new officers and the rotation of the governance positions. So if I wish everybody a happy holiday if we don't see whoever's out there. And if you are interested, D3A in collaboration with the district is hosting a Kwanzaa celebration tomorrow here at 4:30. So that'll kick off the holiday season for us locally. And that's it for me.
Wonderful. Okay, we're going to go to committee reports. And for the Finance, Technology, and Facilities Committee, we don't have a date quite yet. We might have a completely new committee, so we're going to hold off until January for that. When it comes to our next report, which is the Communication Advocacy Committee, do we have a report?
We did not have a meeting after last report.
Okay. All right, and then Policy Review Committee, Vice President Kumar, your report?
Yes, we had a meeting on November 19th. We reviewed, I believe, 15 board policies and 2 bylaws, of which 2 board policies were discussed at depth. Most of these were reflecting federal and state updates. Our next meeting is February 11th of next year.
Wonderful. All right, other committees? SELPA committee or, okay, oh, go ahead.
New Haven Schools Foundation. Let's see here, just a few takeaways. The gala will be in January. They're changing out the pricing model so that there's a teacher discount, and the VIP tables are a different price. And let's see, moving on to the scholarship luncheon, there is a date now of May 6th. They had to move that around because of the timing of graduation, as well as there's a lot of things that are happening on the Logan campus that week. So it's going to be this the 6th. And let's see here. There's the Schools Foundation has printed out invitations for parents and students to go and learn about the scholarship presentation, the scholarship program at James Logan, as well as CCHS and Dakota. Other than that, that is all I have to report.
Wonderful, thank you. We have for SELPA, is there? Yes.
Yes, we had a SELPA meeting today, and our next meeting will be is scheduled for March 25th, and there are 2 upcoming events for SELPA, which is Feb 21st, 2025, will be Special Olympics basketball at Newark Memorial High School. And then like the last event of the SELPA Special Olympics is on May 9th, 2025, which will be held at Logan High School track. And also like on Thursday, the 12th, we'll have ROP meeting. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think that concludes reports. Okay, I'll go ahead and turn it over for action items to Vice President Kumar. Thank you.
Thank you, President Gonzalez. We'll start with item 12.1. May I have a volunteer to read resolution number 0242425, Disability Awareness Month, January 2025? Trustee Rafay?
New Haven Unified School District Resolution Number 0242425, Disability Awareness Month, January 2025. Whereas over 4 million Californians, including nearly 800,000 students receiving special education services, live with disabilities as reported by the U.S. Census Bureau. And whereas New Haven Unified School District is committed to providing quality education to all eligible students with disabilities ages 3 through 22. And whereas research indicates that students with disabilities often face greater academic and social challenges than their non-disabled peers. And whereas the New Haven Unified School District recognizes the importance of increasing public awareness of disability history and disability rights movement and the experiences of individuals with disabilities to foster an inclusive society. And whereas acknowledging disability history will inspire students with disabilities to feel a greater sense of pride, reduce harassment and bullying, and keep students with disabilities in schools. And whereas educating students about disability history, people with disabilities, and the disability rights movement can cultivate greater respect and acceptance for individuals with disabilities. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the governing board of New Haven Unified School District hereby designates the month of January as Disability Awareness Month and encourages our schools to incorporate instruction on disability history, people with disabilities, and the disability rights movement into their curriculum. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Rafay. May I have a motion and second to adopt resolution number 0242425, Disability Awareness Month, January 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Moving on to item 12.2, may I have a motion and second to deny readmission of student number 1?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? May I have a roll call vote for this, please?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Motion carries. Item 12.3, may I have a motion and second to approve readmission of student number 2?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? May I have a roll call vote for this one as well?
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to item 12.4, may I have a motion and second to approve 2024-25 first interim report and multi-year budget projections for 2025-26 and 2026-27?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 12.5, may I have a motion and second to approve the contract with Brelgy and Race Consulting Engineers for environmental study services for the Cesar Chavez Middle School Track and Field Project?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. May I have a motion and second to approve the MOU with Envision Your Pathway for the 2024-25 school year?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. May I have a motion and second to approve the MOU with California State University East Bay CSU EB?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? I did want to make a couple comments here. This is very close to my heart. As a community college professor, I believe everyone should have easy access to higher ed. And as a parent of a senior, I see how daunting the application process can be. So when CSU EB had this partnership with Hayward Unified and San Leandro Unified, I thought, why not New Haven? And I want to give a shout out to Dr. Thompson and Ms. Wee Stevens for helping in this effort, and also one of our parents in New Haven and who's also a dean at CSUEB, Mr. Watnick, and I believe he's in the audience. So thank you very much for making this happen. Really appreciate it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Moving on to item 13, are there any items from the consent agenda that any board members would like to pull for a separate vote? Seeing none, may I have a motion and second to approve items 13.1 through 13.33?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 14, since there was nothing removed from consent agenda, we can move on to item 15, and I'm handing it over back to you, President Gonzalez.
Okay, thank you, Vice President Kumar. Assessment. Okay, any comments or, okay. All right, moving on to board requests, board consensus. Okay, is there any, did I skip something?
No,
Oh,
I just had a board member request. I was wondering, so a few board meetings ago, I had asked for exploring science pathways, Dr. Thompson. I was wondering if we could get an update sometime, either this time or if you're not ready, next time's fine too. Whenever you think is a good
Sure, I
time.
can just give a brief update and send out more detail later if you'd like. It's, we have a committee working on it. It's considerably more challenging than we anticipated because we ultimately have to teach the NGSS standards for chemistry and biology, and there's no way around those. So trying to find, we've been reaching out and looking at what other school districts do and trying to come up with some suggestions, but that work continues.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, seeing nothing else on the agenda, we're gonna go ahead and close out. It is 6:01. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.